Hey friends, Alina Dompt here, and this is episode 3. We are diving into more of Project Rosemary and Thyme, the novel that I am writing as a query, my first novel that has been written and edited and revised multiple times, gone through beta readers, and is now being queried. Whew, that's a lot, but let's make some magic today. Okay, so today we are going to dive into creating a real, I know I said vision before, like I have a vision for the plot or an idea, but we're really going to get a vision for the story this time around. Like I want to see visuals of what I'm looking at, what I should expect, what I'm going to describe when I am writing this novel. And the best way that anybody has found to do that at this point is through Pinterest. And I want to add another layer onto that where we are actually going to use AI art and create AI art using Midjourney, because this is something that I discovered late into the game while I was writing my last book, and it kind of changed the landscape for writing the story. So for those of you who don't know, the last book that I wrote, the epic fantasy that I am trying to get queried and sold, I need somebody to pick it up. I wrote with my husband, and because it's my story and I wrote the whole first draft, and then he took the first draft and rewrote it into a second draft, and then from there we did revisions back and forth as we were writing it. And one of the problems that we ran into was that I would have a vision of something in my head and I would try to get it into words on the page, and he would take those words and then push it out in the way that he saw them when he was reading. And sometimes it didn't come back to me in the next version as exactly what I had seen, and we'd have to kind of like talk over it, and I'd have to explain my vision in the best words that I could use, and then he'd try to explain it back to me in the best words that he could use. And I found that it became a lot easier when I could go to Midjourney or go to AI art and write everything in, and it could spit stuff back at me, and I could go, okay, this is kind of close to it, but obviously I'm not explaining it very well in this way. So let's take that and then try to explain this other element that I'm looking for, whether it's a character profile, and I said, oh, actually I wanted green eyes instead of blue eyes, and I wasn't very clear about that. Or I actually wanted their hair to be curly, like really curly, and it turned out straight because I wasn't clear. And so being able to spit out those things to him, and it wasn't just how somebody looks, it's like, this is the feel, this is the je ne sais quoi that I want in whatever situation I'm handing over to you. I want it to feel mystical, or I want it to feel like this. The colors that I'm seeing in the lighting are like blue and purple coming from different angles. And that's not necessarily how it's actually going to look, say it was made into a film, but this is what I want to feel. And because I could hand that over to him in an actual visual format, it's that whole, a picture says 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Is that what it is? Guys, I'm postpartum. I can't think straight. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But point being, it's good to have something visual to look at so that you can become inspired, get new ideas, and just always retain the ideas that you had created before. This is the character I have. This is what I wanted them to look like. Let's stick with that. Or someday when you decide that's not what you want, you can say, okay, this is what I said, but I actually want to change it and I want it to be something else. So let's just dive right into it and get started. So I want to start by showing you my work in progress. This is the Pinterest page that I made for my first work in progress, which I don't have a project name for. It just is what it is. Right now, I think we are querying it, titled Daughter of Water, or the Verdalian Chronicles is also something I've kind of referred to it as. Basically, what I did is I just created this big Pinterest board of characters, of the antagonist, of the side characters. Mostly it's characters and what they look like, but then creatures as well. The Verdalia, depending on when they're born, have different magical abilities and techniques and talents and whatever that they're capable of. And so each birth got their own page. I did a page of community buildings, which I just think is like lovely, just what you can expect out of their architecture. And I also did a food page where these are kind of the foods that they're going to eat and what you can expect. So whenever they sit down to a meal, I have something that I can kind of pull from and describe the colors of the food that's on the plate, that kind of thing. So that's basically where it started and where it's at right now. But I still have 3 more books to write for this. So this is going to keep growing and keep becoming more. But with where it's at right now, I usually stick to, my main character probably has the most pins on here, but I'll find pictures that look like, okay, that's kind of what she looks like. I'll find outfits. I'll find just the vibe of how her character is, what her personality's like. She ends up becoming royalty early on in the story, and there are certain colors associated with her, who she is. There are just details to her that are kind of magically infused to who she is and who she's born to be. And so I apply those things and put it in. She's involved with water a lot, so there are some water posts, Pinterest board stuff, that kind of thing. And she also is related to mermaids in some way. And then I'll go on to the next character, and it's just a vibe. I just want to get the vibe as best as I can, so I know who these characters are, what they represent, and what I'm trying to put forward for each of them. And so this is what I'm going to try to do with my other stuff. Now, I'm actually going to show you really quick. I wasn't planning on doing this, so I'm just going to jump into it right now. But on my website, you can actually see the page where I've written out what books I'm working on, and the Verdalian Chronicles is on there. Book 1 is Queering Agents right now, or Queering Agents. Book 2, I'm about 60% through draft 1. And then if you scroll down, you can see I did an AI artwork for my main character using Midjourney, and this took so long because I wanted to just perfect it so it looked exactly like what I wanted her to look like. And you can also get the synopsis, and I did a ton of artworks through Midjourney where it's creatures that are associated with her and plants that are associated with her and who she's supposed to be in the story. As you scroll down, you get even more for each of the 4 books. So you get the character profile of the main character whose story the next book is really for, and you get all the things that are associated with them in the story. That's just one way that you can kind of use AI art as you're doing your projects to come up with something, show your audience something that you're working on. But a lot of times it's for you. You create these things. We only have so much headspace, and we need to be able to refer to things that we've created in the past and know how to describe them. It's easier to look at a picture really quick and then write out what you're seeing in the picture than to go back and search for every time you've referred to X creature or a certain character and then try to describe them the same way, or say, oh, and their blue eyes did this, and then you're looking at the picture and you're like, oh, just kidding, it wasn't blue eyes. But otherwise you would have to search back into the words that you've written, and it's hard to find scenes when you have, at least for me, that story was 140,000 words when it was done. So I had to search through a lot of chapters, and things had been moved around, and just everything that goes along with writing that. There's so much. And so it's easier to have the pictures in front of you. So we're just going to jump in and start doing that right away. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go to my Midjourney feed. We're going to go to create. This is, you can see I use this fairly often, but mostly for blog posts right now. We're gonna jump in and try to create something new for our characters. I'm gonna start with my main character. Don't know what her name's gonna be yet, but I know that I want her to have, let's see, it's gonna be a portrait. She is going to be from a medieval time period. You can watch previous videos if you don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing here, because it's based on an old medieval song. And obviously, if you know the title of it, The Rosemary and Thyme, then you would guess Scarborough Fair. But we're just gonna jump in. It's a portrait, medieval, young woman. I'm seeing curly red hair, peasant. She's a peasant. Let's say she's wearing a green dress, perhaps a brown corset. And I don't remember. I think you do -- AR. I feel like I usually do 4x5. I'm not positive though. That's my guess. So we're gonna start with that and see if that works. So it usually takes a few seconds for it to get pulled up. I know other people will use other versions. Maybe you're not using Midjourney, maybe you'd use something else, but for me, I like using this one. It's what I'm used to using. I've had a lot of luck with it, and so I'm just sticking to it for now. Okay, so you can see they're kind of popping up now. It's kind of grayed out. Sometimes when you're looking at them, you're just like, ooh, this looks ugly. Like what? What's popping up? But then it pops up and you're like, oh, actually these are all really gorgeous, and I didn't have to worry. Why was I worried? Okay, so let's look at these one by one. This one's it's a little too much for me. I don't really like that one. Let's see. That's more realistic looking. I kind of like it, although she looks like she could be a little more wealthy just with the lace that's coming up here. Not that these things matter, because we're just looking for a general look to her. This one's kind of cool. I actually really like that one. I like the style of this one, just with the darker background. It looks like it's a painting kind of. And then this one, a little bit more realistic. Okay, I actually think I like this one the best. Okay, let's rerun. Just see what happens. While that is rerunning, I want to create a portrait of her love interest. And we're kind of going to do the same thing, so we get kind of the same look. See, I don't have any details for these characters quite yet, so I'm not so worried about getting it perfect. Do this, see what happens. Okay, so these are the other ones that came up with when I reran them. Don't love that. She looks sick a little bit. Also don't love that one. Also don't love that one. That one I'm more okay with, but I think I really want to go with the original, this one here. She just looks innocent. She looks young. She looks like an elf could get involved in her life and she would get a little bit taken over by it. Like, oh, cool. Some of these other girls look like, no, I'm not going to deal with your crap. She looks far more innocent, like she could be taken advantage of, and that's kind of what we're looking for. So I'm going to save this image. Okay, and let's see what we can find with this young man. Okay. Oh, he's looking really, really young. I don't know if I want to go that young. He's better, although I don't know why he has the cuts across his face. I know that you can actually... Okay, so let's copy this, because I'm not loving any of these necessarily. Let's see what we get with this next round. Because now we're getting girls, which is not what I was trying to do. Try that again. Okay, then we're going to be looking for an elf. And I feel like the classic look that you expect to get out of an elf who's just gorgeous, that a girl can't help but go after because he's just everything she ever wanted, and yada, you know, in every romance story that comes up, is you're looking for Ben Barnes. And I don't know why that is. It's like his Prince Caspian days or something, but he's who you expect to see when you're seeing an elf. You all can disagree with me, it's fine, but that's just what I see. Portrait, medieval. Let's make him a little bit older looking. 30 years old, male, long dark hair, elf, black clothing, realistic, AR 4x5. Okay, we're kind of getting better. Let's just try this again. Let's do a rerun. Let's see what happens. What do we have with our elves? Oh, wow. Age went up very quickly, you can tell. Maybe I just don't know what people look like at different ages. Maybe I have no idea. And they really went with the long dark hair. I'm kind of feeling this one. Although the earrings, kind of weird. Do they all have earrings? They all have earrings. Okay, well maybe that's just a thing that elves do. I don't know. Okay, let's do shoulder length. This is fun. Okay, we did a rerunning. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? I don't know why they all have to have scars across their faces though. Why? Did I say something about scars? I didn't say anything about scars. Back to the elf. Let's see what we got. Okay, there's that. He looks demonic. He looks less demonic. They're so serious, and that hair is definitely past his shoulders. I like this one better. Maybe it's because there's no ears. It might be convincing me. I'm gonna save that. Okay, let's see. Kind of cool. Don't know about the cuts though. Oh, I'm liking this. This is kind of the hair I was going for. Kind of messy, kind of whatever. Like that. I like this one. We're gonna go with that. Okay, save image. We're saving that. So these are some of the characters we're getting into, which I'm going to do a character creation video later, but it's more understanding who your characters are, not necessarily appearance. So we'll get to that. We will get to that, I promise. That's some characters. Now I kind of want to go like medieval forest scene where there's like autumn colors and elves dancing maybe. The other thing is I want to do a medieval fair. Boom. Okay, let's look at these other ones. They're kind of gorgeous. This is kind of cool. I like this. You got kind of like the fire that's going on the side. Cool. Ooh, definitely dancing. And I don't really understand the pumpkins over here. That looks like pumpkins. Am I wrong? That's cool. Kind of like that. I feel like there should be like tables of food, because usually when you learn about like the little people or the elves, it's like there's food and you're not supposed to eat it, but like because then you'll be like captured forever or something. So maybe let's try that. It's okay. What did we get for this? Oh yeah, this is very cinematic. It looks like a movie. This is kind of fun. I like it. Some of these faces, oh my gosh, what happened to them? Just don't look at people's faces. Why are the faces so weird? Okay. So these are the markets. I feel like, and I don't know if this is what you would expect in Scarborough, but I would expect it, is that there should be more grass. Like it should be greener. Maybe that's just me because I'm from Arizona. Like everywhere else, it's just greener than here, not just brown. Here is brown. We're very brown here. So maybe I'll write like green grass or something so we can get like just more. I just want it to feel way more alive. Let's see what we got here. Oh, kind of cool. Oh yeah, I like this. I like this. It's something that you feel like they would set up and then might disappear the next day. Oh, that's cool too. Like this less. This feels more dead, like they're just sitting around eating. This one, they were up, there were some dancing. They have like lights around here and there. I kind of like this. There's like the strung lights, which is kind of cool. Obviously this is medieval, so they wouldn't have strung lights like that, but maybe they do because they're elves and they're magic, so they can do whatever they want. Perhaps. It's something to think about, but I kind of like the scene, so we're gonna save that. Okay, let's get back to this one. Oh, here we go. This is more green. This is kind of what I was thinking more of. I like that. Okay. Oh, an herb cart. There we go. There's my herb cart I wanted. That's an herb cart as well. Okay, this is way more kind of what I was thinking of. I like that you have the buildings in the back here. I don't know. It does make me wonder if they would just have a massive field where they would do their fairs in, or if it would be close to buildings and it would kind of be like integrated in with like the buildings around it. So that's something to think about, how I would want to do that in the story. I like the tents. I can't decide if I like this one or if I like this one. I think I like this one better. We're kind of going to go with this. That's cool. I like it. Okay, if there were going to be an elven palace, that's something I'm wondering too. So let's... Elven palace. Yorkshire. Oh, okay. Okay, this is it's too big. Oh, what do we do? A lot of these are too large. Like they're just too much. This seems more realistic. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe elves have just like huge, massive, large castles. But I don't think that's what I want to go for. I kind of like this because it's like, not that it's between the sea and the sand, but like the fact that it comes right up on the sea and it's like off this cliff, that could be kind of cool. So maybe I'll use this. I kind of like that. And there's a person that's kind of like seeing this for the first time, and how do you even get up there? And what am I supposed to do when I get up there? It's weird. It kind of adds to the allure of the castle that this is someplace I can't really get to, but I want to get there because it looks magical and it's, mystical and kind of cool. Okay, that's the AI art. Then we get into the Pinterest boards, and I think what I'm going to do, because this seems pretty straightforward for anybody who wants to do it, is I'm just going to dive in and play some music, and you guys can just watch me create the board, and we'll see what happens and what I'm inspired by, and just kind of go by that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm super excited to be doing this. Let's see where Project Rosemary and Thyme takes me, and let me know if you have a project going on, what you've named it. Put it down in the comments. I want to hear about it. I'm really excited for you if you're jumping in and trying to finish a book like I'm trying to do now, and let's make this happen. See you guys in the next video.